happy, grumpy, dopey, dopey dosh. Okay.
We need to bring gag reels back.
Rolling.
We live in a world of vision.
Sorry.
Set.
Let's do it.
Action.
Really good take.
But in the meantime, Josh! Teamwork makes the dream work.
Sorry, I gotta do that again.
Sorry, do it again.
Don't remember how to speak.
Okay, got it.
Whatever.
Mark, can you hear me?
It's Mark.
Mark?
I can't hear you guys, sorry.
Is it out and then look, or is it just straight to look?
Wonderful. Guard the door, hold her, and you cut out her heart. All right. You do that, you cut the heart out, okay?
You wash the dishes.
You wash the dishes, you wipe the floor.
Cut the heart out.
You cut out her heart.
I was hoping you knowed something. What? I was hoping you knowed something. What used to be poor? We'll take it. I'm waiting on a plane above 1,000 treetops. Echo. Well.
Yeah.
Well.
You in the bucket.
Well.
Here we go. Jonathan's about to die, all right? He needs help.
Great party, thanks. Thanks for a great time. Thanks for a great time.
And cut.
I'm holding on for my life.
Wait, hold on.
No, I'm sorry.
It's always an undertaking to do a reworking of something that is already very well known, that has an iconic look. So the prospect of doing a different version of that is challenging, but I like to be challenged. So with Snow White, I was certainly up for the experience.
Sandy Powell's costumes make the film. She's able to keep what makes the original classic by also giving it a spin that's just incredibly Sandy.
Sandy. I mean, talk about an iconic woman.
Sandy is unflappable, a master of her craft, and totally intimidating.
The first thing I wanted to establish was what world it was set in. And when I met Marc, he sort of said late medieval with a fairy tale twist. Because it's a fairy tale, I treated it almost as if I was doing a picture book. This really gives us the best look at the world. If you think about children's fairy tale storybooks, they're bold, they're colourful, they're block colours, and they're characters that can be instantly recognisable. That's always been in my head. It's got to be fun. This is unusual in that we will have made every single costume. Normally there is a percentage of clothes that are rented or purchased for what the crowd are wearing. If the crowd are background, our crowd are all important because of the choreography. We see every single one. We've had to purchase thousands of meters of fabric.
For our crowd, we're at around 15,000 meters to make 1,500 items of costume.
There you go. Doing something on this scale is completely impossible without an amazing team. I am fortunate enough to have the best of the best.
This is one of our workrooms. This is a
principal workroom. This is where the magic happens.
Exactly.
I enjoy the process. Having started out as a maker myself years ago, I understand the process. The first stage is really gathering together the material in order of character or crowd. Pretty soon after that, I start looking at fabrics, colours, textures, literally from around the world. I get inspired. If I see fabric, that will give me an idea for costumes or a section of the film. Snow White's dress was the biggest challenge, I think, because of course it had to be unmistakably Snow White, yet be another version. You've got a lot to live up to. I mean, everybody knows that Snow White costume. The whole world knows. It has the three elements, the collar, the puff sleeve, and the yellow skirt, which actually starts out with a blue overskirt, and then the top layer gets ripped away by a branch to reveal the yellow underskirt. Her dress does have the recognizable colors, a blue and a yellow. They're not the same blue and the yellow, and they're specifically chosen to suit Rachel. I did experiments with lots of different blues, lots of different yellows, all of the different yellows I went through. The actual yellow that she ends up with is more than one yellow. I mean, each layer is a slightly different shade. They're all different silks. There's a silk called Ganza, Organdy, Charlotte. That's called Eumissima, and the crepeline is the one that's got the print on it. I know when it's the right color, which is why I'm a bit of a pain. They might give me 1,000 colours. I go, no, it's not quite there yet. But when it's the right colour, I know. And sometimes it's the right colour straight off. One of the first things I did with Rachel was I went to meet her armed with fabrics dyed different shades of yellow and blue. And what I thought would work didn't work on her when I met her. That's why we have to have so many different versions. So this was the version that I think works best for her.
When I saw myself for the first time, I did get emotional. I used to dress up in my little princess costume every day when I was a kid, and to get to step into something so iconic, it's the most thrilling feeling in the world.
Sandy Powell is a legend. Yellow's my favorite color, so I'm a happy gal. To see Sandy's take on what is considered one of the most iconic princess costumes, it's really, really fantastic. And as a huge fan of Sandy's work, it's an honor to just wear something that is her brainchild, and it feels very pretty.
It is a big responsibility to design a character like Snow White because she's such a well-loved character. In terms of hair and makeup, I wanted to stay true to her, but also really think about what Rachel is going to bring to this role. We wanted to just keep her fresh and modern.
When it came to cutting my hair off, I just trusted Nadia so much. She has such a deep understanding for what makes a character beautiful, and it reflects in all of the hair and makeup.
This is the 4th project I've done with Nadia, and I really love working with her because she really is a true collaborator, and we talk about every single thing.
You've got 2 huge departments in costume and hair and makeup. That collaboration and support is very cohesive. You can tell the looks work together.
There's something that brings it all together for an actor. Obviously, the set pieces, but a costume makes such a difference. It affects how you carry yourself.
As an actor, it's just so exciting. The makeup and costumes really help you get into the character. And I love the arc of looks that the evil queen has.
It's always fun to have a villain because they really are the most exciting characters to dress. I began basing her kind of in the 1930s in reference to when the original film was made. I was very lucky to have Gal as the evil queen because she's got that height, tall, wide-shouldered. I really had this idea that Gal had to be towering over Snow White. Unfortunately for us, Rachel is petite. So it really did help with the imposing, intimidating look that she has over Snow White.
Ravishing, isn't it?
Doing a villain is always really fun. What struck me with the original was how much makeup she's got on and huge eyelashes. And I'd never realised watching it as a kid.
The Evil Queen has a very specific colour palette, dark tones. She starts with greens and it moves into blacks and purples, blues, strong, bruised colours. Intimidating in a way. This is Gal's black sequin dress. It's all about the sequins. It always is. It does incredible things with the lighting, bouncing off in all different directions. This is a physical sequin room.
We have to glue each one individually, and there's probably thousands on here.
It's an incredible look. And there's no waste. Look, every sequin's being used well. That's good. We're trying to use all the sequins.
Sandy Powell and Nadia really do bring the craft. We are truly working with artists.
For the Evil Queen's makeup, I wanted to do something that was really bold and striking and fun. And what else is great is no one's ever seen Gal in such a character transformation. Beauty is her power, so it needs to be strong and powerful. I felt like I constantly kept trying to push it a little bit more, a little bit more.
The cowl, I think, is really essential because there is something scary and intimidating about it. It also focuses all your attention on her face and her eyes. And then the shape of the crown, it just works with the whole silhouette. It could be seen from a distance and we know exactly who she is. It's a very striking image that says, Evil Queen.
Who is the fairest of them all?
The centerpiece for her is the iconic purple dress with the white collar, with the addition of a train on the cloak. It's about 6-7 meters long that ripples downstairs.
We had to have 4 people helping me walk around with it. They covered the stairs. It was amazing.
It's the peak moment and the direct reference to the original. It's the look that everybody associates with the Evil Queen.
Excellent. And cut. And how did you feel when you saw it on set?
That was amazing. I mean, that was very exciting.
It's great. I think it's really good.
My favorite part was the old hag.
There. Yeah, there you go.
I really had the opportunity to come out of my skin.
I called Marc, the fantastic prosthetics designer, to sculpt the design. I didn't want it to be scary, but something more magical. I thought about that moment when Snow White first meets her and opens the door. And it just made more sense to me that she wouldn't be scared. She would see an old, lovely lady at the door and would trust her.
I am proud of it. We changed her body shape by building a hump a million miles away from the very upright posture that the Queen normally has. And she's wearing a black cloak, but really it's about the amazing prosthetics. I mean, the hands are extraordinary. I think they're so good.
Hands are
incredible. I love to transform, and the prosthetics really lets the character come out. It's not me. To become that timeless character was just delightful. Did I frighten you?
Sandy and Nadia were able to create a feeling for these characters that felt both iconic and new.
It was really special to create it all together in a real team effort.
I think that's the greatest achievement. Because we worked so closely together, the costumes turned out even more spectacular.
The 1937 Snow White didn't just break the mold, it created the mold. Somehow Walt Disney, in this first feature film, connected to something inside of us, a kind of childlike wonder and awe and innocence. That's why it's lasted so long.
Let's roll, please.
Rolling.
When you sit down and think about a live action version of Snow White, what Snow White means, the possibilities were really exciting.
Disney's Snow White is a classic for many reasons. It, first of all, is the film that really built the House of Disney.
Snow White is a huge privilege and a real honor. When you drive onto the Disney lot, you look up and you see Doc and Dopey and Grumpy literally holding up the building.
It's very hard for us in this moment to go back and think of how monumental that achievement was. But also just Walt Disney's appetite for invention. I mean, he created one of the greatest institutions in the world, and the movie Snow White that started it all.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you to everybody on our first day. Whoa, what's the camera?
I think on a very simple personal level, I wanted to make a movie for my daughter.
15 off, I take one name, okay.
Action. You know, keeping the classic elemental parts of Snow White alive, but giving a little bit of a modern twist.
Marc had a clear-cut vision. I could just tell that every frame was made with such a deep love for who his daughter will grow up to be and why he found this story so important to tell.
It was such a fantastic opportunity to bring some of myself to the screen. It was an opportunity I just couldn't resist.
Everyone is very much aware of the fact that we have this very precious thing, so we have to bring that original beauty, and that's been a very important thing to all of us.
It's an honor that is unlike anything else. It's also a lot of responsibility because she's the original Disney princess.
Rachel is literally Snow White in real life. When I see her in the costume, the first time I did it, I audibly gasped. And I said, I'm so sorry. I just can't stop looking at you because you are the animation brought to life.
We had gone through a very extensive search.
I think they had seen 300, 400 girls, and I wanted it so badly.
Her reading was excellent, and then she sang, and it was extraordinary.
I actually didn't hear from them for a while. It was a month and a half when they asked me to have a screen test. And I spent all of my time in my closet learning Waiting on a Wish.
Little girl at a lonely well with the same little tale to tell.
And she came through and found a vulnerability in the song Waiting on a Wish.
Waiting on a wish.
A passion that I hadn't seen. She has complete control of her voice.
Well, I can hear the echo loud.
It was a really extraordinary combination.
But I'm still waiting here.
So it was around the end of June in 2021. Marc Webb was on the Zoom and he told me that I had gotten the part.
I just want to let you know you got the part.
And it was the most surreal thing in the whole world. As a Disney fan, it was unreal to me.
Thank you. Oh my God, this is so exciting.
This is crazy.
Rachel just has this wonderful sense of play about her. A beautiful person and an incredible actor, and they were quite lucky to have her as Snow White.
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated. I remember when Marc Platt, our producer, called me to tell me that I got the part, and I said hello, and he said, "Oh, hello there, evil queen."
Gal, I think, had a great time. Gal is a blast. She is funny. She knows how to have fun with this kind of role.
Gal Gadot, when she walks into a room as the character, the evil queen, and you understand why the room is slightly in awe of her.
Magic mirror on the wall. The first day I was shooting, I was very nervous because I'm doing something that is so iconic. Who is the fairest of them all? She's so fun to play. To me, it wasn't just the text and the way I carried myself, but it was to let every bone in my body become that character.
I think what makes Gal perfect to be the evil queen is that nobody would be expecting it. Like, she is lovely and kind and good in all of the movies that she makes. So she shocked me on the first day. The nails, the dark lipstick, and the eyelashes. I mean, she just looked stunningly evil.
You could tell that when you're doing scenes with her that she's having a blast playing this part. Every flicker of the hand, every stare that she has, the camera shuts off and all that goes away.
It's been amazing, and it's such a privilege to get into the shoes of such an iconic character.
When I was first making the movie, we went deep back into the archives and looked at the original concept art, the story notes, and what we found is they were working on the Prince storyline, and they had a lot of different avenues that they were pursuing it. But there was an image that we found of the prince in the dungeon. And we're like, this is really interesting. How did that happen? How does he get out? How did he get put there? And that gave birth to the storyline of the character Jonathan and his troop of bandits.
They're bandits! What are you gonna do about it?
And I think it's a kind of a cool little Easter egg. I mean, there's so many little bits and pieces there that are from the original. For the miners, it was really important for us to preserve what was joyful and what was memorable about the original. There's such humanity in these guys, and I really wanted to make sure that was alive, because you need to have an emotional connection to these characters. We wanted to push the animation so it felt real emotionally, but also preserve the kind of bombastic humor that you get from an animated film. Finding that balance was a continuing refinement process that took many years and involved hundreds of really dedicated artists who loved these guys and loved the original movie. The movie was made by a lot of people who really love Disney and a lot of people who really love Snow White.
The movie is so massive. All of the teams work together so closely.
We had a really extraordinary group of department heads on this movie.
You have so many people who are passionate about what they do sitting at the same table. Mandy Walker is looking as director of photography. What looks the best? Pasek and Paul are looking at this musically. Mandy Moore is looking at it movement-wise.
We've got 135 dancers, 30 kids, animals, a bunch of background artists.
It's an incredibly collaborative process, and everything changes every day. That is what it's like to not only work on a movie, but especially a musical.
The physical production, the principal photography section of the movie, we had some of the most beautiful sets.
It's just an incredible thing to be designing sets inspired by Disney's most iconic first feature film. To me, that was just incredible. All those iconic moments within the film, you know, how do we embrace that and then enhance it?
Here we are inside the downstairs of the cottage. So this is one of the most iconic sets in kind of Disney history, I think.
It was the most amazing moment of stepping onto any set that I've ever been on. Unbelievable attention to detail.
The organ was something, when we were looking at the design of it, I just didn't really want to touch it because it's just such a beautiful piece. Just the way that it is in the original, it just felt criminal to change the design of it, really. But the difference that I did was to bring it to life with colour.
It's been huge, the quantity of sets that we've done and the scale of what we've produced. It's a lot.
We are in the village, which I'm so thrilled. It looks like a fairy tale storybook come to life.
I love the village. Just trying to make it have that vernacular of the Black Forest and Bavaria and those medieval buildings from that period.
If you walk around, you see like intricate little details that you wouldn't notice from afar. Yeah, everything's amazing.
Cave was able to build this entire world that felt like a contemporary kingdom, that felt like a magical place where fairy tales exist.
Everything looks as it was in the animation.
The amount of peacock detailing that goes into it, which is brought from the 1937 film, for the fans, if you know, you know, is really, really cool.
Once you're in such a big, scopy, beautiful, detailed set, you're feeling like you're in the real thing.
I'm really, really proud of Queen's Chambers and the Mirror Room. It's such an iconic moment in the original.
Come from the farthest space.
I was just so pleased it really gave the evil queen her rightful status.
I was really obsessed with the spooky forest scene being recreated shot for shot. We did the big scary tree with the eyes, falling through the trap door, getting the bats and the owl, all of the underwater bits. But we did all of it.
It really was a technical tour de force from every department, like a masterclass in filmmaking. It's so inspiring, you know, and it just makes all of us bring our own professionalism up.
It was so much fun. We are in the middle of Good Things Grow finale.
You know, it's everybody's dream to be in the end of a Disney movie, and it's a joyous occasion.
Yes! You know it. We're having a good time here.
There's a companionship and a camaraderie.
The energy is brilliant. I think for the first time, every department is together. Party time.
The cast, the dancers, the supporting artists, it's the culmination of all the hard work of everyone in front of camera and behind camera.
It's beautiful. I mean, look at everybody here. It's pretty amazing, actually. We're just saying you sort of have those pinch yourself moments in life, don't you? And you go, oh, we're doing it. We're here. We're doing this.
It's part of a massive cinematic experience that is pretty extraordinary to be a part of.
Disney's Snow White, the 1937 animated film, is a classic.
The original Snow White was not just the first Disney animated movie, but also set the template for them in being a full-blown musical as well.
We were really raised by the classic Disney animation Renaissance songs.
Yeah, we look at a lot of those movies as the reason we got into musical theater in general.
It is extraordinary, fun, joyful, emotional music. It's very hard to become cynical in the face of that music.
Hi-ho! Hi-ho!
When you do a musical like this, the lyricist and the composer are authors right alongside the screenwriter.
And so I went for the best, Justin Paul and Benj Pasek.
We were just excited to get to be a part of anything Disney. We were just the biggest fans.
I imagine Benj and Justin had the hardest job out of anybody.
Hi-Ho is probably the greatest chorus ever written in a song ever. Everybody knows it.
Both Hi-Ho and Whistle While You Work, they're probably a minute or two in the original film. We are expanding both of them to be big production numbers. How do we stay true to those and not feel like we're being irreverent at all?
I wanted to develop it in a way that sort of introduced these characters in an even more direct way.
My smile starts to grow. I glow. I'm happy. Yeah, we know.
You get all their attributes tucked into the lyric while they're doing their work.
When they first hired me, I was like, this is exciting. Oh, I have to do Whistle While You Work. And then it was not excitement, it was terror.
I would like to make a public service announcement that I cannot whistle.
You'll get it.
Like, I think I am dopey in more ways than one.
Whistle while you
In the animated film, it was very much about, I'm going to show you how to clean the house.
It was more of a Snow White and the Animals song.
In this version, it still is, we're going to clean together, but I'm going to bring you together as a family. And that's part of who Snow White is.
She helps people who are at odds come together, see each other, and evolve a little bit.
I forgot getting along could be so much fun.
Waiting on a wish beneath 1,000 treetops, and as the silver sky stops.
Waiting on a Wish is what we call Snow White's I Want song.
It fits in that catalog of iconic Disney I Want songs. I want adventure, I want to be part of your world. It's that kind of song.
It makes me feel her yearning, and that carries me all the way through the film.
The original song in the movie in this moment is I'm Wishing. What does it mean to have a wish? And what does it mean to feel like that wish is so far away? We've said this behind her back, so I'm happy to say it on camera. Rachel Zegler sounds so good live. While she sounds like a pre-record, it's one of the best voices I've ever heard live.
No, stop it.
True, okay.
It's very sweet.
Guys!
Yeah, it's really amazing.
It's really amazing.
Not only can she sing in such a big, profound way, there's all sorts of colors and layers to that vocal performance.
Waiting on a wish.
You're so good.
What's so wonderful about working with this particular group of people, they're really great at capturing our vocals live on the day.
It's not normal to record a whole musical live. Historically, musicals would have pre-recorded backing tracks.
Let you live, you'd be all set.
But when you record performances live, there is something that the audience in the cinema, whether they know about filmmaking or not, they can trust those performances because it's real and they get that.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all? All is fair has been divine.
It feels akin to Ursula and the Little Mermaid.
It's such a new side of Gal that people have not been able to see on film.
I think people attach to a lot of these villain songs because the writers have so much fun writing them.
Seems we've hit a little hiccup.
Someone made a little miss. Right, and so that was our instinct, was sort of just have her totally restrained, put a lid on the whole thing. And who, of course,
Is here to pick up the pieces.
she takes her time. All is fair.
When you wear the crown.
Gal Gadot is incredible.
She's sort of like an old-fashioned movie star.
Because, well,
You know, that doesn't really exist anymore.
I can.
She just went on the ride of singing this freakishly challenging song that the greatest of Broadway divas would struggle with.
When you're the fairest of
I was completely having a blast.
Okay, I'm gonna hug you. Okay, that's enough.
It's so delicious.
The villain songs are the really fun
Villain
ones to
songs
write.
are fun.
Times are looking bleak, so princess, take a peek.
There's a number called Princess Problems between Jonathan and Snow White, and it is kind of a modern conversation.
Sounds an awful lot.
There's like a little bit more of a pop feel to it.
Snow White expresses her philosophy of how we have to try to make things good, even when it seems really impossible.
I could try being kind.
Jonathan is just kind of this born cynic.
You might think that you know what the world is like, but this is what it's actually like.
There's a great repartee between the two characters because, of course, Snow White pushes back. Actually, it is everyone's problem because the world can't exist if we're not all together. And eventually, she wins him over.
You and Maple are fine dancers.
We're just friends.
Right.
You know, like you and Jonathan.
So Hand Meets a Hand, beautiful love duet that Andrew Burnap and I got to sing together.
'Cause a hand meets a hand, like it found where to land.
The original songs from Snow White were alliterative, so we kind of picked up on that clue
Very
and thought,
cool.
right, so whistle while you work.
Whistle while you work.
Hi, ho,
Hi-ho.
waiting on a wish. A hand meets a hand.
Jonathan and Snow White realized that they might have feelings for each other.
Maybe I like you a little bit more than I thought. Maybe.
Maybe I'm dreaming, well, I'd like to stay.
That was one of the last things we shot, so it makes me really weepy to watch, but it's a magical Disney moment. Like the fireflies, it's stunning, it's so sweet, it's what every person wants out of love.
There's a world where you wake me, promise to wait.
And then they almost kiss, but then they don't.
And then we don't.
I've been playing this soundtrack in my car for years now. My kids love it. The thing that they sing the most is Good Things Grow.
Good Things Grow, one of my favorite songs of the entire soundtrack.
I really, really remember recording Good Things Grow.
Good Things Grow.
Good Things Grow is our beautiful opening number.
Benj and Justin found this song which sets the tone musically of the world and states the theme: goodness, truthfulness, faith.
And we always keep in mind that what's mine is always yours. May goodness be our one true guide.
I know the only way to my kid's heart is through joy.
It was so much fun.
She is very influenced by the images and the stories that surround her. I don't like to think about movies as a sort of responsibility, but you gotta say something meaningful. It starts off as a joyful number, then it becomes wistful.
I wanted to feel the world when an evil queen came in and took over the world with her jealousy and her vanity. So there's a contrast.
And we reprise Good Things Grow at the end.
When she walks through the town at the end and everybody builds up and the chorus builds up, I find that very moving.
Someone brave, someone true.
It's a song that will make you clap and sing, and it thematically encompasses what the whole movie's about.